Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this February 6th, 2024 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our office coordinator, Aaron Smith, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Aaron.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you're here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you're joining us virtually, and we'll ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda. If you're joining us virtually and are experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, submit a comment in the chat feature and our communications manager will help you troubleshoot. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be posted to wcroads.org in the next few days. There are printed copies of today's meeting agenda on the table near the front door, and it is also posted on our website. And now I'll turn it back over to Chair Fuller.
Thank you, Aaron. I now call this February 6th, 2024 regular meeting to order and ask Aaron to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Present.
And Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
And then the following directors are in attendance: Managing Director Matt Washtenaw. Our Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer Brett Schlack is absent, but is represented by Matt. Then our Director of Operations Adam Lape and Director of Finance and IT Dan Ackerman are in attendance.
Thank you, Aaron. If you would join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I so move.
Support. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. We have two sets of minutes to deal with today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of January 16th, 2024 as presented on pages 3 through 8.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the board meeting minutes of January 16th, 2024.
I support.
Thank you. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next, may I have a motion to accept the working session minutes of January 16th, 2024, appearing on pages 9, 10, and 11 of the packet.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the working session minutes of January 16th of 2024.
Support. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. The working session minutes of January 16th, 2024 are accepted as presented. Next, this is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board. Aaron will now explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. For our virtual attendees, we have provided some instructions on the screen on how to participate and make public comment. If you're attending this meeting virtually and would like to make public comment, please raise your hand now. If you dialed into the meeting from your phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. Our communications manager will unmute virtual participants with raised hands one at a time and will announce your username or last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. And please share your name and address before beginning your comments. And at this time, it looks like we do have a virtual hand raised for Rick Bunch.
Rich, I will ask you to unmute.
Mr. Bunch, you have the
Okay.
floor for 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. Looks like I can't turn my video on. So I
No,
will-
sir, just audio, sir.
Okay, that's fine. My name is Rick Bunch. I live at 4989 Earhart Road in Ann Arbor Township. And I am appearing before you to ask your help in addressing unsafe road conditions on Earhart Road north of M15. We're in an unpaved section of Earhart Road that's traversed by up to 50 double gravel trains per day, weighing, I believe, up to 50,000 pounds each. They go to and from the MMM sand and gravel mine between Warren and Joy Road. I live across the street from the mine. During our recent bout of very cold weather and icy roads, a number of gravel trucks did not observe the four-way stop sign at Earhart and Warren. We have video evidence of this. Multiple trucks also went off the road during this period. As you can imagine, a 50,000-pound gravel train that runs a stop sign or slides off the road represents a very high risk of injury or death to other motorists and pedestrians traveling our stretch of road or crossing on Warren. Now, during the more recent freeze and thaw cycles, the road surface has become extremely rough. Not unusual for unpaved roads, but much exacerbated by the kind of traffic that we have on Earhart. Our ruts and holes in the road are up to 12 inches in depth. This also makes the trucks unbearably loud as they thump past their neighbors' houses and their beds clang and bang. So we have a high percentage of trucks that are significantly exceeding the township's noise ordinance for trucks, but it's not really the truck's fault. So most of us believe that the road needs to be maintained better, and we debate whether it also needs to be redesigned or rebuilt in order to make it safe for pedestrians, for other cars, etc. There are few of us who would support paving. The houses closest to the intersection are simply too close to widen the right of way, and many mature trees would have to be destroyed all along this stretch of Earhart. It would alter the character of our part of the township forever, and maintaining the rural character is important. It's merely to accommodate a mining activity that will continue for at most 20 more years. Now, we do understand the commission has limited resources. If that situation cannot change, then I strongly urge the commission to authorize the sand and gravel company to spread gravel when conditions are bad. I understand the commission has been reluctant to do this, but if you can't maintain the road to a safe standard yourselves, please be open to other solutions. Bear in mind, MMM is vertically integrated with road building companies. They know what they're doing. They've expressed willingness to do this. But as things stand now, everybody acknowledges there's a problem, but none of the key actors, the commission, the township, and MMM, are either able on their own or willing to address it. So this is a deeply frustrating and embittering situation.
Mr. Bunch, I need to interrupt you. Your 3 minutes has expired.
Okay, we're simply looking for greater urgency, flexibility, and cooperation among the key actors, including the commission.
Understood. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Aaron, is there anyone else who wishes to address the board?
I do not see any raised hands at this time.
All right. We will move on to written communications appearing on pages 12 through 18 of the packet. Commissioners, anything you wish to draw our attention to?
Just like to say that I appreciate the response from Mr. Lay to, I believe it's Patricia Yoakum.
All right,
Yes.
noted. Any other comments, commissioners? All right, we will move on to a response by the commissioners or staff to the public comments made by Mr. Bunch. Mr. McNadel or commissioners, anybody wish to respond at this time, or your staff?
I can certainly address we're aware of the situation. In fact, the same topic came up in our last chat. So we're in discussions with our staff on maintenance, and also we'll be talking with Ann Arbor Township. Obviously, we have our local road program. This portion of Earhart Road is a local road, so that would qualify for the matching program. So we'll be following up. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you. And I see that our supervisor of Ann Arbor Township is with us today, so I assume she's listening in as well. Commissioner McCollum.
I was just gonna say, I want to thank Mr. Bunch for bringing this to the attention of the Washtenaw County Road Commissioners.
Very good. All right, if there is nothing further, we will move on to new business, the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, items 1 through 4, background appearing on pages 22 through 33.
I so move.
Second.
Commissioners, any questions or anything you want to draw our attention to on the consent agenda? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes,
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Brad Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burkholder.
Yes, the consent agenda items are approved as presented. We have 2 action items today. May I have a motion to approve action item number 1, to approve the commercial driver's license training policy. The motion appears on page 21. The background appears on pages 34 and 35.
Madam Chair, it is the intent of Washtenaw County Board of County Road Commissioners to provide its employees with training and an accredited provider to obtain a commercial driver's license, a CDL. This policy is to be for all regular full-time employees. So it's our motion that upon the recommendation of the Human Resources Manager and with the concurrence of the Managing Director, the board hereby approves the attached commercial driver's license CDL training policy.
I support.
Discussion. Questions, anyone? Matt, do you or your staff want to address the board about this proposal?
Certainly, I can provide a few comments, and I'll ask Nicole Peterson to come on up as well. We're very excited as staff to bring this policy to you for approval. We obviously last spoke at our working session meeting on the why and the how, and we're just looking forward to opening new doors of opportunity for folks to start a career here at the Road Commission. And with that, I'll turn it over to Nicole.
Yeah, so some progress.
Identify yourself for the
Nicole
record.
Peterson, HR manager. Some discussion has been happening among staff about this upcoming policy. I do have 2 employees that have expressed interest in wanting to enroll in a course once it's passed. So I have 2 spots reserved for them. One is actually going to be held at Monroe Community College. That is where they currently have their manual CDL courses available, and it's kind of the middle point for this employee. And then a spot reserved for the Washtenaw Community College. They unfortunately just recently had an instructor resign, so they have 1 person going between the 2 colleges, which restricted some of the class availability. We have the one in Monroe starts April 29th, and the one in Washtenaw starts May 20th. So once this is passed, I will get them officially enrolled and paid for in the course. They have some work to do on their end in getting their CDLA permit through the Secretary of State, which is an online test that they take when they're there, just like getting your driver's license permit. Following that, we will be posting a laborer position assigned to State Trunk Line, which would then avail the opportunity for the training for a new hire that enters that position. And we've had employees already express referrals or interest in people they may know that would like to come work for us, but still need the training.
And the approximate cost of this training that the road commission will underwrite for these current employees?
So the cost of the course and everything that's included, which would be like your CDL medical certificate, drug screen, the course, any other materials and testing is just over $5,000. That doesn't include the time that will be their job assignment while they're here and any overtime received while they're at the course.
But they will be paid while they're enrolled
Yes.
in this course.
Yes.
Commissioner Green.
How long does the course last again?
3 weeks.
3 weeks? Okay, thank you. And after that, they'll be eligible to receive their CDL?
If they pass the course and the final test, they would immediately become a heavy truck driver assigned to the crew that they're currently on.
Thank you.
Commissioner Yamas.
If someone does not pass, is there a second go around to take the test? Is there?
Yes, and it's in the policy that it would be their responsibility and financial cost to them.
So my question is, for clarity, if someone takes the test and they fail, can they take the test again without doing the whole course? I'm not talking about flunking the course. I'm talking about the test, because once you get through the course, you have to take a test, right? To
Yes.
receive the CDL.
Yes, they can take the test again
Okay,
without retaking the whole course.
thank you.
More? Commissioner Green.
I'd just like to add that I thank our managing director and our human resources director for their input in making this happen. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Thank you.
Very exciting. So any other questions or comments? Nicole, I don't know what your signal means, Tiffany. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No. Thank you. Commissioner Sanders, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at my screen. I was looking at Nicole. So
That's
Commissioner
okay.
Sanders.
That's okay. I don't typically have a comment for this part of your meeting, but since I rolled on late, I do have, I just wanted to share that I had a great conversation with Matt yesterday, and he was able to share his plans for this new program. I've had questions and continue to have questions about, trying to offer opportunities to better diversify the workforce at the Road Commission, not just ethnically, but also in terms of more women having opportunities. I think that this is a great first start, because what it allows you to do is to move people that are already employees into that next higher class, but they have experience already working for the Road Commission. And then it opens up opportunities for new people to join the Road Commission in those vacated spots as they get promoted to the heavy equipment. So I was very excited to get this information from Matt. Excited to see that it looks as though you're supporting it. And I think that, a $5,000 investment per staff that are already have seniority is a very low cost investment for the safety and well-being of our roads and our citizens here in the county. So that's my 2 cents. And thank you for allowing me to share.
Certainly. Thank you, Commissioner Sanders. I just want to emphasize this is an earn while you learn. Nobody is taking the course at the expense of their daytime employment and compensation. So while the $5,000 may cover tuition and fees and equipment charges and such, and the final final testing, there's also the investment during that time of their wages and their benefits. So this is something I really encourage. Please spread the word. They need to get on board first, because there's a fair amount of activity involved in becoming an employee of the Road Commission. And once they're on board and in our pool of people, this is a fabulous way to move along. Do you have anything else I've forgotten, Nicole, that you'd like to share about this, other than it's taken us 10 years to get here? Or, I mean, you've worked so hard on this for so many years.
We've tried some other options, but yes, we're here today, and I'm just looking forward.
Great. Well done. Congratulations on putting this together and actually getting it in our hands to act on. Certainly, Matt.
I just want to thank Adam Lape, our Director of Operations, for his support as well. That support is in our operations department. Our supervisors, our foremen there's a lot of excitement and discussion about this as well. So
That's great.
Thank you.
And I also want to throw an accolade to our former managing director, who felt very strongly about this program as well, and has worked on it along with Nicole and Matt to make sure it came along, and Adam. Anything else? Hearing, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes, this CDL program, Earn While You Learn program, has the sanction of the board. Bring them on in. Let's go. Let's go. This is great. Next, may I have a motion to approve action item number 2 to cast our vote for a CRA Board of Directors member. The motion appears on page 21. The background is on pages 36 and through 38.
Madam Chair, the board hereby votes for Joanna Johnson of Kalamazoo County to serve on the CRA Board of Directors on behalf of the Association of Southern Michigan County Road Agencies for a 3-year term. This term begins April 1st, 2024 and runs through March 30th, 2027.
Second
Oh.
motion.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Support.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
There were 2
Commissioner Green.
candidates. Thank you. There are 2 candidates
Yes.
on the ballot. How do we select Ms. Johnson? Just wondering.
I can speak for myself. I've known Joanna for a number of years. She's involved in, gosh, Matt, you probably can say better than I can. She's been very active in the County Road Association as well as
The
There's
Asset
that-
Management
that's-
Council.
yeah.
So she was appointed to the Asset Management Council
Mhm.
in the state of Michigan, which is it's oversees a lot of what we do as road agencies and MDOT. So she's very well versed in the business of our road commission business and has been past president of CRA as well.
Okay, thank you.
And she's the managing director there in Kalamazoo and has been
Yes.
for some
Oh, is she?
time.
Okay,
Well,
okay, thank you.
you know, it occurs to me, it would be nice if they had provided us with their letters of intent and or their background.
Like a bio.
Yeah,
I can pass that along.
would you please?
Absolutely.
So it seems a little more intentional. Appreciate your questions. Anyone else? Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes. Pleased to report that that action item is passed unanimously. Next up, we have reports, County Commissioner Liaison Reports, Commissioner Sanders and Commissioner Light. Who wants to go first? Whoever gets to their unmutedness goes first. Crystal, Commissioner Light.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you all doing?
Pretty good.
Let's see, there's been a lot going on. And we, I think did I mention that we had attended, the State of the Address, from our governor, and some exciting things going on. I, am happy to hear about, all to come as far as with our CDL. We can make sure that we intermingle with our Michigan Works Southeast and Washtenaw, a lot of opportunity that way to help us to get more jobs available. And so I am just excited about what is to come. And I just want to thank our road commission and our employees for all that they have been doing with all of that horrible weather that we have had. And now having to go and fix up and patch up all of the holes and everything that unfortunately that weather has caused us to have. So just very appreciative of our road commission and for all the work that they have to come and all that they have done.
Thank you, Commissioner Light. Commissioner Sanders.
Yes, so as I said a few minutes ago, I had a lovely conversation with Matt yesterday. And I am looking forward, as you all know, this is election year for far too many of us in the county. I am looking forward, though, to hosting some Zooms for my district constituents and inviting the road commission to either come and be one of my presenters and talk about the great works that you're doing, as well as the millage renewal. and or providing me, I would say and or, meaning I'm greedy, so both, providing me with either some slides or a brief video or something that I can actually share out with my constituents to help them better understand, if they don't already, the work that the Road Commission does and how it affects specifically where, they're living. So just excited about that. As I shared with Matt, I am a road warrior, literally. I travel a lot and I pay attention to the roads, and I'm quite proud of Washtenaw County roads, which is one of the reasons I selected you all as one of my assignments as a commissioner. So just continue to do the great work. I am pleased that you selected Matt, and looking forward to great work. Cheryl was wonderful. As I shared with you, she was the first and only department head to reach out to me when I first came in the office, which I thought was extremely telling. And so just looking forward to, continuing good work, and super excited about the new training program to help advance the current employees and open up opportunities for those that might want to work for the Road Commission. So thank you both.
Thank you, Commissioner Sanders. We appreciate your kind remarks and your support of the work that we do. We will move along to the report of the road commissioners. Commissioner Green.
Thank you. On January 29th, I attended the meeting of the Southeast Council of the Michigan County Road Association, gave an update on the negotiating committee. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Smers.
On Wednesday, January 31st, I attended the chat. We did have one caller, and it was about the same issue that Mr. Bunker talked about before.
Okay,
That's the end of my.
that's it. Okay, Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, Madam Chair, on January 24th, I attended the chat with the Road Commission, and there were no public attendees. On January 29th, I attended the Southeastern Council at the Calhoun Road Commission, and I reported on the Commissioners Committee. I also accepted another term on that committee. I also want to let people know, if they're interested in a discriminatory restrictive covenant deed interview that I was involved with WEMU. It will air on February 7th at 3 different times, at 6:49 a.m. tomorrow morning, or 8:49 a.m. tomorrow morning, or 4:48 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. I am working with the committee Justice Indeed. It's a collaborative project dedicated to exposing and responding to the fact that the deeds to thousands of homes in Washtenaw County contain racially restrictive covenants or provisions prohibiting Black people and other minorities from living there. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner McCollum. Commissioner Yamas.
No report.
Thank you. I will report that on January 17th, I had the honor to be the commissioner on the chat session. We had no visitors. On January 22nd, I spoke with Keith Szymanski of Plant Moran. This is a traditional call that the chair of the board receives in preparation for the audit. It lasted maybe 15 minutes, and I had no concerns, nor did he. So that was an annual conversation that takes place with our auditors. On January 29th, I attended the quarterly meeting as well of the County Road Association Southeast Council of Road Commissions in Marshall, and it was hosted by the Calhoun County Road Department. On January 30th, I completed MDOT's online survey about ideas for possible road usage charges. You can see the February 2nd CRA legislative update if you're interested. The link is there. I encourage everyone to participate in the survey. What's interesting is, due to overwhelming response, they have terminated the gift card program, which was supposed to provide an incentive for anybody who took the survey. Apparently, they had so many people respond that they had to terminate the program. So just be aware, I'm not sure whether that language still lingers on the website or at this survey site or not. But it was a very thorough survey. I thought it asked probing questions to get at the why would you support it or not, what would you support it or not, and how it should be implemented. And as you all know, we are fast approaching a fiscal cliff with respect to road funding. So this is trying to get at a shift on how we fund our roads from the tax at the pump and fees and sales of new vehicles, trying to find something a little more equitable to fund our roads going forward. We don't have a pilot. There are other states that do. Just be aware there's going to be some changes coming on that point. Let's move on to the managing director and his staff reports and any updates. The staff reports start on page 39 and run through the end of the packet. Mr. Washtenaw.
Thank you, Chair. Any questions on the staff report provided in the board packet?
Anybody? I have a question about the traffic, bad use of words. Anyway, the number of calls that came in when we had the snow event and what kind of a burden that placed on our folks.
Certainly. We understand a lot of our winter events, subsequent days after we'll get a lot of calls in, whether it's the subdivisions or the back roads, where a lot of the discussion and focus. Our primary routes are our top concern, and Adam can certainly speak to this.
Okay.
Of our winter maintenance priority system. But what happens is typically, I think folks are a little delayed in getting relief on the back roads because we have so many hundreds of miles to get to. We have 11 graders and they're active, and I can only recite this because I've heard Aaron say it so many times. So Aaron and Emma do a great job of communicating where we're at with things, but it does take time to respond to large storm events. And then subsequent events happen. We have to come off those secondary roads and go back to the primary system and freeway system. So it's a vicious cycle when we get multiple storms, a freeze, a thaw, a rain, and the communications team did a wonderful job of working through things with residents, sharing concerns, triaging calls, getting with the foreman and our superintendent of maintenance, director of operations to address concerns. I think we're in a pretty good shape. This freezing and thawing has left us in rough conditions in some areas, but our crews are addressing them. And I'm sure Adam will touch that under his report.
Thank you. The reason I draw attention to it, Matt, is we always hear from operations about the crews on the roads and the progress they're making and the grumpy people that don't think they're fast enough or thorough enough. But I also want to compliment Tiffany Oliphant, who is the head of our comms team, for the work that she does to make sure her folks are well prepared for those calls. And I think when they're overwhelmed, don't you pitch into Tiffany and pick up calls? I don't know whether you want to address
Absolutely.
the board.
Tiffany does an outstanding job of supporting the team and giving some direction and taking, sometimes it takes two people to say the same thing for it to sink into residents. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of life. But they are very patient, but yet they have a lot of calls to get to. So Tiffany and her team do an excellent job.
As well as the channels, social media channels and press releases and the
Yes, ma'am.
calls from what I call press.
Yes.
That's an outdated term now, but thank you for the work that you do and the supervision that you provide. And Aaron, thanks for it. And Emma out there somewhere, thanks to you as well. Thank you. Sorry to butt in, Matt. Go ahead.
I appreciate you highlighting that. So thank you. Under my report, I would like to just point out, I know you all received this communication, but on January 24th, I sent a note, an email to all elected officials in Washtenaw County regarding some educational events for our Renew and Restore for the 2025 to 2028 roads and non-motorized millage. Staff will be hosting 3 meeting dates, one here at the administration building on February 29th. On March 13th, we'll be at Northeast Service Center on North Territorial Road in Northfield Township. And March 14th, we'll be in Pittsfield Township at the Southeast Service Center. All that information is contained in the email, but I did want to highlight that. And I have followed up and had individual meetings with some of our county commissioners, Commissioner Sanders, Commissioner Light. Some are introductions, introducing myself and sharing my background, but then also following up on this very important Renew and Restore. And we're hoping and looking forward to conversation with the Board of Commissioners at a working session meeting scheduled for March 6th. That's our hope, is to make it onto that agenda. Essentially, our goal is to get on the August primary election for state and local primary. And it's important for us so that we can plan for the next year. Ultimately, by getting on that August election, getting the voters to vote, hopefully to Renew and Restore, a very successful program. And ultimately, we can then plan for the next year, start to get contracts ready, get pricing. The earlier you bid things, the better pricing you have, the more work that we can accomplish with those millage dollars. So that's the advantage of being on the ballot in August versus November. So any questions on that?
Is March 6th the working session or the regular meeting of the board?
I believe the intent is to be at the working session.
Working session. And then subsequently, there would be a regular meeting where,
They'd have to do a couple of readings
okay,
and then ultimately file for putting it on the ballot.
very good.
And we're working with County Administrator Greg Dill and Deputy Andrew.
And I believe Commissioner Sanders sits on the leadership team that structures the meetings going forward. So please let us know if there's anything you need, Commissioner. Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, I was gonna ask, so, is this something that the commissioners can go to, or are we already going to hear what the, presentation will be at one of these 3?
You're absolutely welcome. I intend to have a working session topic on the millage. So you'll see a lot of the same material that's presented. If you're able to make 1 or 3, I'd welcome that opportunity. We are going to feed folks. So if it's a morning meeting, there'll be a continental. If it's near lunchtime, we're going to have lunch. So,
Okay.
all right, very good. We're trying to,
And it's open not just to the Board of County Commissioners, but also
All
any
township
elected in the
elected
township
officials.
and city as
cities.
well.
Yes.
Uh,
So the goal is that we're going to present the plan that the road commission is going to do. County Parks is also going to team with us, so they'll have a role in presenting their plan. And then we're seeking feedback so that we can solidify that plan. And then moving forward, once we know we're going to be on the ballot, start educating the public on that.
Excellent. Commissioner Green, did I see your hand?
Yes. At what times are the working session?
I can get you the meetings, those 3 meetings have various times. I'll get you those times after the meeting.
Okay.
You sent those to us in an email previously?
did.
If you
I can resend that.
Okay, or just let us know the dates so we can go backwards and look for it too.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any other questions about that? These educational sessions are going to be really important, and I think they're going to be fun. We don't get to connect face to face with our elected township officials like we used to when we did those annual meetings with all 20 townships. So it's a nice opportunity for you to meet them and them to meet us and hear what's on their mind.
Absolutely. Good point. All right, with that, we'll start out with director's report. Operations Department.
Good afternoon, Adam Lake, Director of Operations. I just wanted to thank you for the kind words on the communications to some of our Scioto residents, and some of the Pittsfield residents as well. In all honesty, it ranges from field staff all the way through our communications team. We're kind of making an effort to speak with one voice. So really the staff is the ones that should be getting thanked for that. They make sure we have all the good information so we can respond at a decent, quick time. And then Tiffany makes sure we get the words right. And so it is very much a team effort, but I do appreciate the kind words, but really it's our team, just kind of how Matt noted. Because they were very busy the last few weeks. So I do appreciate it though, because it does give us our time for us to go out and handle what needs to be done. So they kind of channel that information to the right sources and to get to the right people, because sometimes we usually have somebody in the area that can go look at it within like an hour. May not be able to solve it, but at least see it, which is real impactful for us to give good response back. So with that being said, staff does continue to perform routine maintenance, mainly surface maintenance here, when and where practical. That consists of stone patching on the unpaved roads, and then obviously pothole patching on the hard surface road, the paved roads. We should, in the next few days, within the next week or so, be able to start really scraping some of the roads if the weather stays the way it is. Right now, we can't really grade the roads with the graders. You have to be very sensitive to that because they are so saturated. We could inadvertently kind of turn the road over, how we refer to it, and bring up a lot of moisture, which would negatively impact the ride quality. So we have to balance that. So a lot of times we place stone on the road and try to spread that and blend that into any areas where there are holes. Inevitably, we can't cover every mile of the road, but we try to get the areas that are either problematic or that we've seen through our just field inspection. So the local road program, we continue planning for that. We've been still meeting and coordinating with township officials, met with a few townships in the last week or so. They're starting to work through projects and that'll just ramp up as we go in the next month or so. Finished reviewing our local road packet, so that'll go out to the local township officials here pretty soon and get ready for 2024. And with that concludes my update, and I'm sure there are probably some questions, so I wanted to avail some time for that.
Commissioner Smers.
Adam, is this year gonna be bad with the thawing because of how fast we froze and how fast it's thawing?
Yeah, so really, we don't have a bunch of frost left. I don't really think, maybe we might not even have any in some areas. And it got really, really cold within like a week. And then it was only a week and a half, 2 weeks. And all of a sudden it started warming up and now we're in the 40s. So I think that'll be impactful because I think it's going to take more material to maintain the roads, where normally on a slow thaw, we can just scrape the roads and kind of grade them into shape, the unpaved roads specifically. Where now I think this year we're going to need material added to some of the road segments. We bear so much pressure on them when we try to break the ice off to expose that center portion of an unpaved road in the real cold times of the year where it's just packed hard ice, like we did a few weeks ago. We put so much strain in the road itself that eventually just starts to lose its stability. And we start to break the stones as we're driving over them time after time and again with the blades dragging. So I think we'll use more material this year. If it's going to be warm like this, then we're not complaining either, because that means we'll probably dry up quicker and we have plenty of brine to put, apply the dust suppression for that. But yeah, I think we're going to use some material.
I know the roads, the hydraulic effect of the water coming out looks pretty bad by us. So up in
Yeah.
Linden, so that's why I was wondering if it's gonna be worse. But
Yeah, the limestone roads are really like, they're wet just everywhere. Whereas like in the kind of west part of the county where there's more sand and natural aggregate and gravel base, they're kind of pumping that moisture up and out and it's evaporating, whereas the limestone's hanging onto it really tight. So I think we'll probably spend more limestone material to try to work on the like center and the east side of the county, where we have a lot more limestone roads. But yeah, so that's the best part about, road gravel. Natural aggregate gravel will get that moisture out of it quick, evaporate off, and then the season's prepared. But takes a little bit of time to get there. But yeah, it's looks like it rains every day.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Matt.
Yes, Chair, I just wanted to follow up on that. Certainly our staff, led by Adam, is monitoring for seasonal weight restrictions. This is an odd year where we did get not much of a freeze, not for a very long duration. December was very kind to us. January was not. But we did get a thaw, and usually we get a deep freeze for a long period of time. So it really drives that frost into the ground, and then that thawing period is longer and it's really saturated. So we have chosen, based on the conditions that we're seeing, we have not implemented seasonal weight restrictions. We didn't, at this point, we continue to monitor, but we have not implemented those things. So I know Brent Schlack, our county highway engineer, and Adam are working very closely on that topic, but currently we have not imposed seasonal weight restrictions. So that may be a question that you may get as a commissioner, because some of our neighbors have. So
That is
it
correct.
varies depending on where you're at, what the conditions were, whether you're a northern county or southern or on the west side of the state. All these conditions vary in soil types and how much precipitation you got, all factors in.
That is correct. Yeah, thank you, Matt. Yeah, there's a lot of things put together that really, end up with the equation, do we need to uphold the weight restrictions, or are we able to work without? And right now, we're getting by with what we have right now. But yeah, some other counties have imposed for the season. So we're lucky we have a good road base at this point, and it's stable enough to continue conducting business. So.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yeah, do I understand that you don't have weight restrictions on?
They are not on right now.
Because I saw a bunch of them in here, but that was from January.
So you may be seeing weight restrictions from a particular culvert. So there's a couple things going on. We've got culvert inventories and load rating calculations for our structures and culverts that are deteriorating, and we'll post, if we see a deteriorated structure, we'll do a calculation to do a weight restriction. But seasonal weight restrictions is for that period of time when the thaw is occurring. Various counties have put seasonal weight restrictions on for
On
all
all
the
the
roads.
roads.
This is
Correct.
county-wide.
Okay,
And MDOT has imposed seasonal weight restrictions as well.
Correct.
So
Thank you.
it's similar topics. Yeah.
Salt barn.
Salt barn, we are actually, they're installing the sheeting, some of the, might as well call it a moisture barrier. That'll be between the steel, where the steel sheeting will go on top of the roof. They're now on the west side of the building, so we are probably a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks away from starting to see the steel on the sheeting go up, and we'll have a roof. And then from there, it'll be installation. There's a couple of small roof sections that'll have to get finished individually, adjacent to the big part of the building for some of the material storage, and then one of the decanting stations that's on the south side of the building, or south end of the building. And then from there, they'll install some of the circulation. We have a few fans that'll be in there, and they run off humidistats. So I've made a few notes when we were kind of talking long ago in one of the working sessions. We try to monitor the humidity there, try to keep that moisture out of the building as best we can. So those fans will kick on when they need to, or we can override them and run that to keep the salt relatively dry. What that does is that way the anti-caking material that we get our salt treated with prior to coming to us doesn't get exposed and used up while it's just sitting there, and then it gets stuck in our trucks when we try to apply it. So those fans will get installed after, once we get the whole building under roof, and then that's where you have electrical involved in that. But all the utilities and everything are out there ready and prepared. They just haven't connected anything yet. So a few weeks from that, and yeah, the biggest excitement we have now is getting the roof in there, because at that point then waiting on Mother Nature to get the final part of the concrete done in the spring, and then demolition of the existing dome and move forward. But we need that for a little bit while yet till we use up some of that salt. So
Pretty exciting to see it going up.
yeah, we're
in the
excited.
driveway.
It's big. We're excited to see
It
it when we
is.
come in.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Adam. So as Aaron mentioned, I'm going to cover the engineering report. And I will report that a lot of our engineering staff is at the county engineers workshop that's hosted this time of year. It's a very important class in that it's a multi-day time where they go through educational classes, and also it's a time to learn from each other, right? A lot of networking goes on then. So Brent Schlack, our county highway engineer, director of engineering, along with Aaron Burkholz and numerous other staff made the trip north and are at that seminar. It's also hosted virtually, so some of our staff are able to stay here and participate as well. They get continuing education.
That's in Marquette, right?
This one is in Manistee this year.
Manistee. Okay. I'm sorry,
That's what
Commissioner
I was gonna
McCollum.
ask.
Commissioner Green or Commissioner Yamas?
Yeah, I
Do you have a question?
No, I didn't.
I do.
You were just waiting your glasses. Okay.
So I see, we're having somebody speak there tomorrow.
Yes, actually Nicole just left this meeting and was headed up north. So she is going to be talking on employee retention. So that it's an important topic that a lot of county highway engineers are also managing directors at the smaller road commissions. So they do tend to focus in on engineering, but they do have administrative topics as well. So we're excited to for Nicole to have that opportunity. In years past, we've had other staff participate, and Michelle Ford, one of our project managers, helped plan the event. So she's on the committee for CRE to plan the county engineers workshop. I do have some good news to report.
Did you ever-
Oh, no,
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Matt.
We got some bid results for last Friday at MDOT's bid letting. We got bid results for the Stony Creek Bridge. Came in under the engineer's estimate, which is that doesn't happen that often. So, yeah, exactly. I had to do a double take. So the low bid was 1.1 million, some change. Erie Construction was the low bidder. And then also Whitaker and Willis Roundabout came in under the engineer's estimate at 1.1 million, some change. The engineer's estimate was 1.2, and that project low bidder was C&D Hughes, and we've worked with them in the past as well. So two contractors that are very capable. We've had good working relationships with in the past, and they came in under the engineer's estimate. So we're excited to share that. So.
Commissioner McCollum.
Matt, with the Whitaker Road roundabout, and Willis. So if you're getting the bid now, I know they're not supposed to start till after school's out, right?
Correct. What we like to do is we bid early so that we have a good chance of getting good prices. So they may have in the contract some tree removal work to accomplish environmental restrictions. Has to be done before, I believe, March 31st. But they will not shut down the intersection or close it and start the roundabout work until after school's out.
Okay.
And we should have some public information meetings coming up, virtual meetings for both those projects.
Thank you.
Yep.
Could you speak to our procurement procedure and how it's been implemented on these various projects?
So this procurement is simply MDOT does the procurement for these federal aid funded
okay.
projects. So we will enter into an agreement and the board will approve that MDOT agreement for the project. Basically saying that MDOT secures all the bids, enters into the contractor, and then the road commission is charged of administering the construction of it and for any local match payments. So they'll invoice us for any of the local matching portions of the project. So it's competitively bid. Every contractor that submits a bid has to be pre-qualified and have all the insurances in place.
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions? I don't see any.
All right. So
Thank you, standing in for Brent.
yeah, no problem. Had to dust off my engineering hat.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance and IT.
Good afternoon, Board. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance and IT. So last week was a fun week for me, and that's a bit of sarcasm as the 2023 audits, the site work started. If any of you have gone through an audit, it's a very humbling experience. I had anywhere from 2 to 6 CPAs asking me questions about why I did this or that over the past year. I barely know what I did last week, but anyway, I have a great staff and the records are, meticulous. And so it's very easy to get any information that they ask for. They started this a few years ago, but they have a SharePoint site, a secure SharePoint site. and I can basically click and drag a lot of the information that they asked for. I shared this with the board before, but the finance department, we've tried to go as paperless as we could, and that really helps for the audit, because I just need to basically find where the information is located, and again, just click and drag into whatever folders that they need the information. So it's a pretty good process, and the site work by Plant Moran lasts about a week. And a lot of people feel the audit is done, but it is not. There'll be lots of back and forth. We'll probably have Teams meetings. Because when it goes through the firm, there's various pairs of eyes and standards departments and so on. They will review it and ask other questions. So I fully expect, a couple more weeks. And just as a reminder, we have a verbal agreement with Washtenaw County to provide them our numbers. We are a component unit of Washtenaw County, so they do need our numbers for their comprehensive annual financial report, or CAFR. But we've had this longstanding agreement by March 1st to provide them that information. I have no doubt we'll be able to do so again. As a reminder, we are one of the quickest audits in the entire state as far as road commissions. For December year end, for the auditors to be out early or the end of January is a quick turnaround. But it's a team effort. The departments assist us by getting all their invoices to us for the previous year, and processing things as quickly as possible. And we're able to do it because we all are on the same page and kind of help each other out. So it's definitely appreciated, though. And then, so the Plant Moran will be here. We have a working session scheduled in April, and they will discuss the year-end 2023 financial report. And also, we plan on talking about the first quarter budget. So, winter was kind to us at the end of 2023 and not so kind, probably because I thanked Mother Nature in January. So, but it'll be interesting to see, where all the numbers end up, and, hopefully we can maybe restore some things and come the first quarter. Besides that, it's also busy for us with all the tax forms, and everything has been submitted with the exception of the Affordable Care Act forms, which we're still working on, and we still have about a week or two to submit that both to our employees as well as the IRS. And it's a heavy lift to basically say, yes, I have health insurance. That's the purpose of it. But it is a requirement, so we are definitely working on that. I did want to share, all of our 20 townships have paid us for our final township billings for 2023. And I shared an email with operations, and I included Matt. I think this has been one of the best years that I've seen as far as our township agreement program. The quick turnaround from the townships is important. If they don't pay us within 60 days of year end, there's a possibility we can't include those revenues with our budget. It would be classified as deferred revenue. So that could potentially adversely impact our budget from the previous year. There have been times where Adam or Ken or myself have driven to township offices to pick up that check so we could deposit it. Certainly not ideal, but the turnaround was tremendous. And certainly I think the townships also can be thanked for, because they're partners with us as well. But really, I just was really impressed with the program. We made some changes. The communication was great. Jamie Kraus in finance handles preparing a lot of the bills, and then there's several in operations. Adam and Ken and Jared and Tiffany L. Just really a really good team. Asked a lot of good questions. The operations department early on was really closely scrutinizing things, and we were making some changes. Obviously we're communicating well with the townships because there didn't appear to be a lot of issues with the bills that were sent. So, was just really pleased with how well our township agreement program went last year. And as good as it is, Ken in operations set up a meeting I think in a week or two, to do a look back and see, can we still improve it even further, which is great. I mean, there's always room for improvement. And so I'm looking forward to that meeting and, see what other useful changes we can make. But overall, I think it was a pretty successful program. Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Green.
do the townships face a penalty in the event of late payment or non-payment?
We've really have not had to go there, fortunately.
Right.
We ask that they pay us within 30 days. We try to give them some grace, especially if we send something out early or mid-December and offices are closed for the holidays and so on. We do not have anything written in there that there would be a penalty, but we do have please remit payment within 30 days. And like I said, we've never really had to go there as far as tacking on late fees or anything like that. We just want to have good intergovernmental cooperation. So.
Commissioner Yamas.
So Dan, good work, like usual, but you said everyone is paid up, so you, in your report, have miscellaneous invoicing, and that's taken care of also or not? Sure.
Yeah, so there are several miscellaneous invoices that we also send out. A majority of those have been paid as well. One of the last ones being a payment from MDOT for our salt building. I think there might be a few of the miscellaneous invoices that might be outstanding, but the township agreement is kind of its whole other thing, so.
Okay,
But yeah, we periodically have other projects that we invoice, say Pittsfield Township, county parks.
right.
So there's a lot of those. I think there's about 50 that we send through the course of the year.
So they don't have the same impact if they're not paid immediately. Do they generally get paid?
Yeah, so if we don't receive something, then within the 60 days, then we would have to, it would be qualified as deferred revenue. But at this point, I'm not concerned about any of the miscellaneous invoices. I think we only have maybe one other significant one that we haven't received yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So last for finance, if we want to go to the last page of your board packet. The December Michigan Transportation Funds. And December of 23 compared to December of 22 was up 6%. And Matt and I were talking, I don't think we've ever seen $4 million in any given month. So this is obviously very close to that. So, definitely a good news. Matt had me made a few changes to this report. So if you see it, we have monthly averages now. For both the previous year and the current year. So you can kind of see on average what we're receiving, and then you can see from month to month, it's kind of all over the place. So we just wanted to add that. And for the year, we're up about 7% from the previous year and definitely received more than we had budgeted, which obviously that's what you want. So any questions on that at all? Okay, and then IT, there's a power hour that was scheduled for Windows 11 on February 27th. And it's an optional meeting for those that are maybe, just want to learn more about it. They've also revised the computer refresh quotes a little bit. And also I talked about the financial audits. Well, the auditors also wanted to learn more about our IT infrastructure. So a couple of the auditors met with Chris Quinter, our IT manager, and myself, and he showed them various things. A lot of things they're interested in is what controls we have in place, how do we handle our backups, and they were pretty much satisfied with just about everything that we have in place. We also shared that we had the IT cybersecurity audit, and they were really pleased to hear that we went through that. A little bit of discussion on passwords and how long passwords should be. So, and we've kind of shared with you as well. I think there'll be some more discussions on that. Should your password be 7 characters? Should it be 12? And they're almost, instead of passwords, I keep hearing passphrases. So that's something we'll probably be looking more into. But overall, it's a good discussion. I think they felt really comfortable with the controls that we have in place with everything. And that's my report.
Any questions for Dan?
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate all your leadership and all the extra hours I know that you put in during this time of year. It's much appreciated. And I know the audit's a heavy lift.
Yep, I'm looking forward back to getting back to more normal hours for sure. So thank you. Though.
All right. Anything further, Matt?
That concludes from my end.
Okay, okay. I will just point out that on February 20th, we meet next time, working session at 9, regular meeting at 1. Virtual chats tomorrow. I'm the commissioner in the chair. On February 14th, Commissioner Green. And on February 21st, Commissioner Yamas. Please mark your calendars for April 22nd. We recently received a notice from Tiffany O regarding the spring training that will take place all day on that day at Washtenaw Community College. And we are anticipating that everyone here will be in attendance for that session. I think everybody attended last year, didn't we? I think everybody was there, as I recall. It's just a really important opportunity for everybody to be in the same room at the same time, hearing the same thing, and very strategically spread us out last time. So we got to interact with employees as opposed to sitting there talking to each other, which we do plenty of. So April 22nd, all day at Washtenaw Community College. Anything else, commissioners? All right, if there is nothing more to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I support.
Thank you. If you would, please, Aaron.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Jess Smers.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Burt Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.